Before we get started today, I want to let you know that we had some technical difficulties, so my sound quality may sound a little off. However, this was such a powerful podcast episode video that we don't want you guys to miss out on. So give us a little grace today. If you have ever stood in the baby food aisle feeling completely lost or scrolling Pinterest or social media and you're like, what do I do? Or maybe you've watched your baby push food away and wondered, what is wrong? I'm overwhelmed by this process. Today, we are going to have a conversation that is just for you because what we're getting into is the stuff your pediatrician genuinely does not have the time to walk you through at a 15-minute well visit. Hey mama, welcome back to the Birth Experience with Labor Nurse Mama. I am in fact Labor Nurse Mama, a 16-year high-risk labor and delivery nurse, a mom of 7, and an online birth educator. You already know I usually have you in here for everything birth and postpartum, but today we are taking it one step further into something every single one of you is going to eventually face, and that is feeding your baby. Today, I have Jordyn Koveleski Gorman with me, and she is the real deal. She is a licensed speech language pathologist and a feeding specialist with almost a decade of clinical experience. She is also the founder of Eat, Play, Say, which is very clever. I love it. And if you've spent any time on Instagram, you've probably already seen her because she has a community of almost 800,000 parents over there who go to her for expert-backed answers on feeding, speech, and play. And as you'll hear in our conversation, she just had a baby. We are getting into things I know you're wondering about, why some babies are little stinkers and push the food away, and what you can do about it. We're also going to talk about her tips on what type of feeding you do, puree or baby-led, and why she says what you do actually matters more than the method. So join us today as we chat. This is such a fun conversation. Again, we had some technical difficulties, so I just ask for your grace and I appreciate you giving it. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's get into it. Welcome, Jordyn. I am so happy that you're here. And I know that my audience is just going to eat this up. So can you just do me a favor and tell everyone how you got into what you're doing now? Like, give us like a short little backstory.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. This is my first podcast postpartum with my third. So I'm really excited to jump back in.
Tell them how long it's been since you had baby.
It's been 7 weeks.
7 weeks, you guys. And she's sitting here hanging out with me, barely recovered. I'm really proud of you.
Like so sleep deprived, but yet so happy to talk about the things that I love. You know, it's that juggle.
but being sleep deprived and newly postpartum, this conversation could get really fun.
It could. I really hope I can stay on track. And
we don't care. I can't stay on track, but it's perimenopause for me. It's postpartum for you. So
they're so parallel.
Yes, they are. I've told my husband, I feel like perimenopause is harder for me than having a baby. Like I never really struggled with anxiety or depression after my babies. Like I was really fortunate, and perimenopause has hit me in the face like a brick. But anyway, that's a whole nother episode.
Don't even tell me that.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. For those of you guys listening, I'm old. Sorry. Okay. So let's go back to why you're doing what you're doing. Like, give me your mission, your story, like of why this started.
Yeah. Well, I figured out that I wanted to be a speech language pathologist pretty early on. My mom actually got really sick when I was 16. She had bacterial meningitis, ended up in a coma. And one of the first specialists that she saw when she woke up was a feeding specialist, a speech language pathologist in the hospital. And she was this cute little thing dressed to the nines with a lab coat. And me being 16, I was like, ooh, I can do this. I can look like her and work in a hospital.
Like,
and
be a badass.
Yes. And she was so adorable. You know, all I thought about was her outfit, not the fact that she was, helping people.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we're parallel here.
If it looks good, I'm going to like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I ended up going to school to be a speech pathologist. And then I did like feeding, but I actually turned to feeding with babies and toddlers. And I ended up working at a really great pediatric outpatient hospital in Baltimore. Got so much great knowledge from working there.
Yeah.
And then
You
when
got to wear the cute outfit.
I got to wear the cute outfit, and I got to wear
Yeah.
scrubs, and I got to hang out with the cutest little kids. And then when I had my son in 2021, I had that, common decision of like, do I go back full time? Do I stay home? Like my heart is in two places, and I'm really struggling with that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I ended up staying home, starting my own little private practice locally. We live in rural Pennsylvania where there's pretty much no specialists in this area. So I was very fortunate.
Yeah.
Started sharing about things online on Instagram and blew up quite literally overnight.
And when did you start? When was this?
Fall of 2021.
Girl, me too. I started I really started on Instagram in 2019, early 2020. It was a different ball game back then.
100%. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, it is. I know. It was so
much.
easy. There was so low lift. Like we could just show up. There wasn't like, do this hook, do that, try this, try that. It was like, just show up and be you and be authentic. And like, you didn't have a rule book.
No, I agree. I feel like we're starting to trend back towards that because people want to see that. They don't want to see the perfectly curated house and activities. No. And we want to talk about the real and raw parts of raising kids, going through the hard things, which is eating and sleeping and all of those things, learning.
So literally all it rotates around in those first couple years is eat, sleep, poop.
Amen.
And get a
and
giggle.
They all are related,
and get a giggle.
Kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, including the giggle.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I started sharing things online, and then I realized, you know what, like I love Instagram, but I want to really create a business where I can bring together all of these professionals, share all of our knowledge all in one place for parents, because that really was what was missing when I struggled with my son, my first time around as a parent. So over the last 4 years, we've slowly grown Eat, Play, Say to what it is. We have a great website, a blog, Instagram. We've worked with brands. We've worked with other professionals. We're just doing the damn thing,
Yeah, I love it. And doing it from a place of impact, which is why I feel like a lot of us that started back then, we didn't do it because we wanted to build this big profitable business. We did it because we so wanted the moms to know what we know. And I truly believe that's why we resonated so much.
Yeah, I say it's built on passion. Just built on straight passion. Yeah. And you have to continue to have that passion in order to continue to grow and reach. Like, I want parents to know the things that I didn't know so they don't struggle or so that they feel supported. Yeah.
I need you to come in and talk to the ladies in my mastermind that are just now starting, and they're getting so caught up in all the technicalities. And like, I've told them I grew labor nurse mama with a smile and a link. It's like nothing more. I had no fancy, like professional funnels or any of that. Like, I just wanted the information to be in the mom's hands. And that was that.
Yeah. And just staying true to yourself. I mean, we lose ourselves a bit in motherhood. I feel like everybody can kind of relate to that because you are a whole new person and you miss the old person that you are, but you're happy to be this person and you're trying to refine who this new person is. Yeah. And it can be so hard to try to find who you are. I've always said to everyone on Instagram and in my email list and all of that Eat, Play, Say has been the light in the darkness of motherhood and postpartum for me. And I just hope that Eat, Play, Say, and I'm sure you hope Labor Nurse Mama can be that light for those moms who are in that darkness, trying to get their way out. It's very hard. And just giving them permission to make their own path. Like, that's the thing that I'm a high risk labor and delivery nurse girl. Like, I still, when I see scrubs, when I walk into a hospital, my heart starts palpitating. Like, it's my jam. I love it. I miss it so much. And obviously I have 2 businesses already. So my family can't have me being gone 13 hours. Right. Yeah. I always joke, if a hospital would hire me like once a month to come in, I would do a shift for free. They don't have to pay me. I don't care. But walking into the online space with that and just that love for our avenue and our expertise and just loving these moms and not pushing any agenda on them. Someone said to me, one of my students, I interviewed her for the podcast, and she said, Trish, it's like you lay it out like a buffet and we get to pick and choose, and you're not saying, this is what you do, or that's what you do, or don't be induced, or don't get an epidural. And I'm assuming just your vibe so far,
because honestly, I don't scroll Instagram. Like I get in, I get out because it's a business for me. So like
100%.
I can't do that to my family because I'm a woman and a mom too. I'm going to get sucked into the void that is Instagram. But so I don't look at anyone else's content. I don't do any of that. But I would say just by meeting you, because I can read people, that you're the same. Like you're not pushing an agenda. You're like just laying out the options and letting her choose and being confident in that. Because I think that was the hardest thing for me as a young mom, was that I always was comparing myself to who I thought was a perfect mom. But then as I got to know the perfect mom and she became raw and authentic, I was like, she's not any better than I am. Like, she's just a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. So now that we've digressed, which is really how we roll around here. I always say that I want my conversations on the podcast to be for my mamas listening. Like they have sat down at the table with us at Starbucks. And we're literally just having a real and raw conversation about our love for what we do and our love for them. So to bring this back in, because we already talked about that, especially pregnant women, like pregnancy brain is no joke.
Mm-hmm.
They have a very short attention span, and we want you guys to get to the value without a ton of fluff. So today we're going to talk about transitioning to solids and food refusal.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's two really powerful tools to have in their tool belt.
Yeah, I feel you get whacked when you're starting solids, and then you get whacked when you're, they're eating all the solid food, and now they're a toddler. So they're important topics.
So I don't know if you know this about me, but I have 7 children. Do you know this?
Wow, I did not, but holy, good for you.
Yeah, and now I have 2 grandchildren, which, can I just be real? Yesterday I was at the ball field and I heard this lady go, "Come to G Mama." And I was like, that is the coolest grandmother name I've ever heard in my life. I'm Gigi. I'm like, that's cute. Can I switch to G Mama at this point? But I don't think I can because my babies know me as Gigi. But I don't even know where that was going. I don't know. But that being said, 7 kids.
Yes.
And just when you think you have it figured out with a toddler, just when they will only eat yogurt or granola or oatmeal, they suddenly decide that that is the worst thing they've ever seen in their life. And there's no way in hell they're putting it in their mouth.
Yes. And the dramatics is like level 10 with that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this is like Disney level acting.
It's so true. I always say like feeding babies and toddlers is like a box of chocolates. You do not know what you're going to get. You open up a brand new box every time you're getting in the high chair. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much anxiety with starting solids. That's actually how I grew on Instagram and grew my business, was really talking about feeding as a feeding specialist. And I think parents get really caught up in, do I do baby-led weaning? Do I start with purees? Well, if I feed them too much, they're not going to feed themselves. Well, if I give them the opportunity to feed all the time, they're not going to actually eat anything.
Yeah.
And you go back and forth and back and forth. And we miss the point, which is the experience that these little ones are having in the high chair is the most important thing for them. We are shaping their view, their experience with food. And as long as it is a positive one when they're getting in the high chair and they're coming out of the high chair, you really are doing the best you can do.
Okay, so break that down for me. I always say dumb it down.
Yeah. So
what is a good experience getting into the high chair look like?
So
funny enough, can you see my, oh, you can't see it.
No.
I
can see your cervical dilation thing, which has given me PTSD from what I just did.
Do you see my Stoke high chair? Right?
I see it. It looks good. That baby looks very happy in there.
Yeah. She got put into there very well.
Yes.
So she's good. Okay. So explain to me, what does entering the high chair, like what are some tips because I feel like this conversation is now taking its own life.
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
So I know parents are really excited when they get the green light from the pediatrician or their baby's finally sitting up alone and they're like, I'm ready to go in the high chair. And you immediately think, I'm going to start to offer them food. But I really caution parents to not offer food the first few times that you're putting them in the high chair. Instead, bring their favorite books, their favorite toys, bring the utensils, no food on them, bring teethers, and have an enjoyable 5-minute experience in the high chair. And when they're happy, they're having a good time, all done, and get them out.
Yeah.
We really want to associate that piece of furniture with, I'm going to have a good time in there.
This is fun.
Exactly. I'm going to like, start wagging my hands and my feet and kicking when I'm going in there because I know I'm going to have such a great time. And then you make the choice. Are you going to offer purees? Are you going to offer whole pieces of food? And I'm here to tell you, it does not matter what you do first. If baby-led weaning scares the SHIT out of you, it is okay to start with purees. If you're like, you know what? No, I'm putting avocado and banana on the high chair tray. And if they take it, they take it. If they don't, they don't. That's also fine. There's really no wrong way to start solids if your baby is developmentally ready.
Okay. I love that. So they're overcomplicating it.
Yeah, I think we're so focused on how many ounces, how many milligrams of iron, how many times a day am I popping them in the high chair, how long is the meal, and that we're missing the point. We're missing the whole point is that this is a new skill for your little one, and we want them to have such a good time. And for you as a mom are, experiencing this brand new thing with your baby for the first time. It should be fun.
Well, and I love that you're saying that because I'm a mom of older kids. And so I've walked through the years of dinner time, and like for my family had a lot of trauma. That's a whole nother episode too. My ex was not a very good person. I grew up, I was the youngest of 7. My parents were done, but they had me older. So we ate at restaurants, which now I know is a privilege. So I don't want to sound like a little brat, but we never had like a focused dinner time at home at the table. And I always missed that. So like when I would stay at friends' houses and there was that dinner time with all the different ages of children. So for my kids, it was always important to me. We always had dinner together. Mm-hmm. And I love that you're saying you're setting this up for this really, for those of you guys listening, some of the most, like when me and my adult children look back, some of the funniest moments, some of the cherished moments happened at the dinner table, like weird conversations or someone did something silly and we all died laughing. And we always went around and said, what was your best and your worst about today? Like that was part of our thing. But I love what you're saying about like start associating this dinner time, this meal time with something so positive. And it reminds me of my youngest son, his dentist had me start coming in just to play in the chair. Mm-hmm. We didn't go straight to, we're going to open your mouth and do all this stuff. Yeah.
I love that. That's so great. There needs to be more of that because you have to remember that these experiences for these babies are so new. They've probably not sat in the high chair before. They haven't had food come to their mouth. They've only had breast milk or formula the last 6-ish months. So,
which involves snuggling with mom.
Yeah, exactly. Or the taste of food. Their taste buds are like, what the heck is this? Do I like it? I'm not sure. I'm going to need 20 plus presentations of this food to really figure out how I feel about it. And I think as parents too, we're just so worried about making a mistake when we do something new. Like, I started solids wrong. Now I set him up. He's going to be 20 years old and only eat 4 things. Like, no, not quite. We really just need to listen to our instincts a bit more and focus on finding the fun. If you focus on finding the fun, you're going to have that gut instinct of like, hey, I'm actually doing this right. My baby's having a good time. They're gaining weight. They're trying new foods. I'm doing okay. This is great. I can handle this.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the baby steps. Like, you don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to like have this Instagram worthy picture series of how wonderful it was.
No, and the buffet plate, the plate was like literally more food than I eat for breakfast. And I try really hard to tell parents, like some kids will totally eat that. I'm not saying they won't. Yeah. But a lot of kids, I'm willing to even say over 50% of those babies will not eat. It'll just end up on the floor. Like they will not eat it. So don't even worry about it.
Well, it's like when they say confused buyers don't buy. It's a confused eater won't eat. Yes. Like they're not going to eat. Yeah. Okay. So that's the first part. You also said like exiting. Didn't you say like also leaving the high chair? Like there's something about that. So explain that to us.
Yeah. So typically around like 18 months, you might see that your baby, even before, is like, I don't want to be in this contraption anymore. I want to move. I am out of here. I'm in full toddler. I know how to say no. Yeah. I'm independent. Yeah. Like Destiny's Child, Independent is playing in the background. Like, you are trying hard to support their newfound independence, but also not lose your mind, especially at mealtimes. So that's where food refusal comes in. And as a speech pathologist, I know, like my brain knows, like they are exercising their right. Like this is great. They know how to say no, like for safety reasons and things, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
But the mom and me who just spent 30 minutes cooking this and now you're saying no is pissed off.
Yeah.
So trying to balance those two things when approaching mealtimes is so hard. So I always tell parents to try your best to offer choices. I just posted about this on Instagram. Down to the cup that they are drinking from, like give them so many choices to give them some control.
Yeah.
When you give them any ounce of control, they automatically feel better. They still might not eat what you gave in front of them, but not everything is going to be a fight because a lot of kids don't respond well to, I made it, you eat it, go to bed hungry if you don't eat it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I wouldn't respond to that.
No. My daughter would be like, I'm going to starve for 4 days.
Yeah. Well, I clearly, if this tells you anything about me, I can clearly remember sitting at the dinner table at like 7 for 6 hours because I refused to eat the yellow yuck stuff on the side of a chicken breast. And because it was on, now obviously I came from the you do it, I said do it error.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is a funny laugh because it literally is the epitome of who I am as a person, that they didn't win. They did not win. And I sat there and I didn't care. But I would, because it had, you know what I'm talking about? That like yellow weird stuff on the side. I still can't do it. No. I would refuse to eat a bite of that chicken because there was something wrong with it. Clearly no one could see it but me. But my parents were like, you're going to eat it. I said to eat it. And I was like, watch me.
And that strong-willed personality got you where you are today.
But I got to stay up ahead of my bedtime, or way later in my bedtime too, because I outran them. But whatever. Anyway, so I love that. So we're gonna work with them getting in. What's the plan for that though?
Right. So you have to decide where you're going to hold your boundary and what battles you want to pick. And that can change day to day. That can change based upon how tired you are, how much energy you have, what your dinner options are. But I typically say to parents, pick your main. So chicken, whatever.
Yeah.
If your little ones don't want to eat that, then they have the sides. If they don't want to eat the sides, they maybe get to choose those other sides. And you can even go into the meal ahead of time with them having picked something on their plate. Yeah. They know that if they start eating something on their plate, they're more likely to eat the other things on their plate. So the goal isn't to get them to finish the food. It's to get them to have something on the plate and start eating it, because they may surprise you and get to the other things. And we have to remember,
how do you do that? Like, how do you direct them in that?
Sure. So if I'm going to serve chicken, right? Let's say I have an almost 2-year-old. I may ask them, do you want carrots or peppers for dinner on the side? Do you want to dip it in ranch, or do you want to dip it in the avocado dressing? Do you want mango for fruit or cantaloupe for fruit? And then give them that responsibility of, I picked this, I'm part of the meal. Because a lot of times toddlers just feel like they're constantly being pushed around. They don't get any
this
say.
is part of dressing them too.
Absolutely.
I used to do this with my kids. Yeah.
Do you want these shoes or these shoes? This shirt or this shirt? Exactly. And we have to remember that these little people are people too. And how would you feel if all day, your whole day was dictated by somebody? We have to set boundaries because we are the parent. We are the one shaping them. And we do get the ultimate choice of what happens because we're the adult.
Yeah.
But they're people too. And they deserve to have some say, some choice. And especially if it's going to make your life easier. And if it's cantaloupe versus mango or pepper versus carrot, give it to them, you know?
Agreed. I love that. I learned that with my son when I was going through my divorce. He was 4. And of course I had him in therapy, and we had him with a play therapist, and she would do the same thing. Like, she was like, let's give him as many choices as possible, so that while his life is feeling like chaotic and out of control, he feels like he has choices.
Yeah. And I can relate to this even being postpartum. Like, I cannot control which kid's going to get up in the middle of the night, what time the baby's going to need me to feed. But I can control that I put these really cute dividers in the dresser, and the dresser, that one drawer of the dresser is super organized. And I feel really good about that.
Yeah.
So we do like having a little bit of control when we can. So it makes sense that they want that too.
Yeah. I'm so glad. Can I be really authentic and raw?
Yeah, please.
We're leaving for Hawaii Thursday, and I don't want to complain because I know how blessed I am. But I was so overwhelmed this morning, and I was like, I need to just cancel all the podcast recordings. Like, I'm in a good state. But I am so happy to meet you because I feel like this is so important for these moms to hear you. And I know you have like 700,000 followers. So the fact that I've never met you probably looks bad on me. But again, I set up very strict boundaries when it comes to social media. Because, you know, for those of you guys listening, for those of us who have big businesses on social media, it takes a lot of work. So for our children, they see us on Instagram, they see us in social media, and we still are the parents who we don't want to model that too much for our kids because we don't want them to live on social media. We want them to have face-to-face relationships and all those things. So like, I'm just so happy to like have met you. And I'm glad that I didn't just listen to my emotions and be like, screw it, I'm canceling the day. So just, I'm glad that you're here because again, what's really so important to me when it comes to the women who trust me in their journey because they're allowing me to be a part of their journey. Sometimes I hear things and I'm like, God, this is so good for them to hear. And I feel like this is such a powerful, not just about eat or sleep or play or any of that. It's so important for us to not be the generation before us where it's because I said so. And, you know, the whole F around and find out. Like I just literally that right there caused me to make such fear-based choices as an adult woman for so long, you know, and to give that to our babies. Like, here's the thing, you guys, like as an older mom, all these choices you're making right now are shaping an adult, are shaping a future parent, are shaping a future president. And Lord Jesus knows we need a good one, right? So I don't get into political, but let's just say, you know, we're going to say that. I hope you all love me still, but by teaching them, I remember we had some difficulty with one of our boys that we were talking to the pastor all the time and we're doing therapy. And I remember like one of the things he said to us was very similar. But when you have a teenager that you're trying to start these things, it might be a little late because they don't trust you in those things. So if we're starting that from the moment they are able to start making choices while they're in your home, then, you know, here's the thing. And I say this all the time, like, especially to my new moms, because new moms have a really hard time letting their partner make choices when it comes to caring for the baby, because of course they're going to do it wrong. Right.
Yep. I've been
And
there.
so,
I've been there.
yeah. And I had a guest years ago and she said, we have to learn how to accept imperfect help. We have to learn how to accept that our toddler is going to do something not perfect. It's going to be messy. It's going to be a little hard for you in the moment because, you know, child, choose this. This is the better choice. But by giving those options while you're there to guide them through the consequences is also really important.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I mean, there's this theme with parenting that we like the perfect parent, which we know does not exist, yet we still try to achieve that level.
Yeah.
And we're so hard on ourselves. And we have to remember that if we're willing to accept the imperfections of our partner or our kids, we have to be okay with the fact that we're going to be imperfect. It's how you respond. I just sent out an email a couple weeks ago to my Sunday. I do a Sunday newsletter about how I've yelled at my kids. I'm not proud of it that I've yelled at my kids, but I've gotten to a level where I've yelled. And then how have I responded? I've gotten on their level and said, I'm sorry. Mommy is tired.
Yeah.
That's not an excuse, but that's the reason why I yelled. And I'm so sorry. And they're forgiving. The unconditional love goes both ways. When you are raw, you have the best interest at heart, and you're trying to work with them. They can see that. And they're like, I still love you. It's okay. It's okay, mommy. Don't cry. Like I broke down and cried because I was 4 weeks postpartum and I was yelling.
I love that so much because I feel like one thing I did that my parents never did is ask for forgiveness and also laughed with my kids. And in fact, we celebrated Mother's Day this weekend because I'll be in Hawaii. And of course, my kids want to go through all the biggest faux pas that I've had as a mother. And this is so terrible. Just so y'all listen, I don't believe in hitting my kids at all. But when you have a teenager in front of you, a boy, And me and Gavin just have this relationship. And he was like, we're getting off. I told you this will take a life of its own. I'll never forget this. He's standing in the hallway. Okay. This kid. And he's 14 or 15. Now, mind you, he's now 6'4". Okay. Ooh. So he's a big boy. And he's standing in front of me. And I was like going off on a tangent because I was so upset about something. And he goes, is this circus in town? Meaning my period. And I popped him in the mouth and he goes, guess so.
Oh my gosh.
And I smacked my child in the mouth and I felt horrible. I was out of control. My period was in town. But
I hate that he was right.
I know. But now it's like one of the funniest family stories we have. But here's the thing. I could have beat myself up. I could have felt like, because my parents, borderline abuse, but it was normal at the time. And I could have beat myself up, but instead we laughed about it and I did apologize. And now it's like mine and Gavin's story. Like it's the family passed down story because the circus was in town and he learned you don't say that to a woman.
No. So he'll be a better husband because of it, because he learned.
Yeah. Well, sort of. He did ask his girlfriend recently as a joke and she was like, no. But that being said, you guys, again, this is how I roll. I'm raw and authentic. I smacked my son in the mouth. I could have decided what a horrible person. I'm a terrible mother, all these things. And it's like, I gave myself grace. I did apologize. And now it's become this the funniest family story, right? So just like you yelled at your child, you give yourself grace the same way if your daughter called and said she did that at 4 weeks postpartum and you walk her through that. But the thing that we're teaching our children is that we're human. Mm-hmm. We make mistakes, but only if you accept it and you even to a 2-year-old say, I'm sorry, mommy's sorry. I should not have spoken that way. I should not have reacted that way. And your brain will be like, well, 2-year-old doesn't get that, but they still are. It's modeling behavior for them. That's so important.
So important. A phrase I started saying with my kids little, when we couldn't find a part to a toy or something broke, the first thing I always say is, we're going to figure it out. And it doesn't mean that we're going to be able to get the toy back. It doesn't mean that we're going to be able to completely fix the problem. But I needed time to figure out how I wanted to respond. So I kind of started saying, we're going to figure it out. To me, I'm like, okay, I need to figure out what we're going to do here. But now when my middle child does something, my eldest, Paul, he'll be like, it's okay. We can figure it out. And I'm like, okay, great. That resonated super well, even though I was literally just grasping at straws trying to figure out what to say. But I love that his first reaction is, sometimes, not all the time, instead of freaking out, because he's still 5, is we can figure it out. We can find a solution. And I love that for him. And I love that for us. It buys you some time so that you can try to you can figure it out what you're going to actually do.
Yeah. All right. Just so everyone knows, this is going to be a 2-part episode probably, but so make sure you listen. So what was the other thing food refusals. What are some of the most important ways in which they can handle that? And is it the end of the world?
Every parent goes through food refusal. I've never met someone that goes, my kid eats whatever I put in front of them. So we can all, have that solidarity. And I will say a lot of times problem eating, food refusal, and preference is so common that oftentimes it's not a bigger issue where there's a nutrient deficiency or something completely drastic. So I want every parent to know the statistics are on your side.
So it doesn't mean end of the world.
Okay. No.
Yeah. Okay.
And there are the most simple things you can do to make your little one feel better about food and to make you feel better about food too. And that's literally just bringing your child into the kitchen when you're preparing food. So a lot of times there's food refusal because there's pressure to eat. So if we take that pressure to eat out, we take them away from the table, away from the high chair, away from the booster seat. We make cookies with them. We prep a salad with them where they're in charge of putting all the toppings on the salad. They mix the dressing in. You make a smoothie with them. There's no pressure to eat because they're like, I'm not sitting in my seat. I don't remember that the last time. So you let them
eat then?
Yep, if they want to.
While you're prepping it? Got it.
Yeah, it's their choice though. So if they don't eat anything, that's fine. We know that the sensation of eating there's so many other sensory experiences that have to happen first. We look at it, we smell it, we touch it. All of those things are happening during food prep without
Yeah.
actually eating it. So your little one is actually getting closer to eating foods that they may have previously refused because they're getting those sensory experiences with that food with zero pressure to eat it.
So instead of just putting it on a plate and they're like, they're like a part of it and getting slowly acclimated to it.
Yeah. So like, for example, if your little one doesn't want to eat mushrooms, you're going to make pizza, let's say, as a family. You're going to make a cheese pizza, pepperoni pizza, and then you're going to make a vegetable pizza. They don't have to eat the vegetable pizza, but their job is going to be preparing that vegetable pizza for you or for dad or for their sibling. And they may see you pick up a mushroom or a pepper and eat it and just be like, you know what, I'm going to put this to my mouth. And even if they don't eat it or they're like, ew, that's a huge win. And we don't have to say anything positive or negative, like, oh, you tried that mushroom. It's nice. It's brown. Awesome. Can I have one? Give it to me. And take away from like, you did a good job, or you're not doing a good job because you're not eating, or that's not yucky. Taking all of that language out because you're just enjoying creating a food together, and whatever happens, happens.
Okay. Now they're a part of the prep, but you're saying if they still refuse it, that's fine. Are we moving towards potentially them accepting it at some point? And like, what is that timeline? Is there any kind of, we're talking about toddlers. So is there a typical, or they may never, ever accept it?
There's always a chance that they may never eat a certain food. Like I always say, you couldn't pay me to eat cottage cheese. I will not do it. But I will eat other foods that have the same nutrient composition as cottage cheese, high calcium, high protein. So whatever, it's one food in that food group. I think most parents are shocked to hear that sometimes babies and toddlers need 20 to 100 presentations of a food before they're willing to accept it. 100 presentations of a food. I don't even think I've been presented broccoli 100 times in my whole life because I don't really like it that much.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that they're not warming up to this brand new food that doesn't look appetizing, maybe isn't their favorite texture.
Yeah.
They didn't have a good first experience with it. They need more time. It goes back to that when they're getting in the high chair, we want them to have a good experience. Food prep with toddlers is that same thing. We want them to have a fun experience around food without any pressure, without any negative connotations, that they remember the last time that they made smoothie and they put coconut flakes in it. That was fun. I'm going to try some coconut flakes, or I'm going to eat raw coconut. And wow, now I really like that. What am I going to have next?
I love that. Even just thinking about how certain cultures, their children will eat food that an American child would never touch, right? But just because it is a daily part of the culture, so that makes sense. They're seeing their parents eat it. They're seeing it. They're exposed to it before they actually are offered it. So that makes a lot of logical sense as well. Okay, so we've talked about what option do you use. Use the one that makes sense to you. Don't overthink it. Keep it simplified. I feel like the golden nugget for everyone today is your theory of introducing them to the high chair as a fun, positive, because it makes sense. And I think about this with potty training too, because I had a niece, and one of the first times my sister put her on the toilet was to go poopy, and she was constipated.
Aww.
And from then on out, she was scared of the toilet, but because to her, it was going to be painful. Like, I don't know how she could have handled that, but that makes sense in my brain. Yeah. So I love the fact that you're saying, put them in early and often when they're ready, and like, make it like, I used to, like, it's not good on your brain when you have a baby in the 40s, but when you're younger and you have a baby, put them with like a little pot and a pan and a spoon and let them play drums in their high chair, or do something like a little bit of water play, and allow them to associate it as not something that you're going to strap them in and then force them green mushy crap that tastes like doo-doo, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a golden nugget. And I love also the food prep. Like, I feel like those two things. So if you guys are listening, and if there's nothing else you take away today, I feel like those two things are like arsenals in your tool. Like, these are tools to have in your arsenal is what I'm trying to say. So is there anything else that you're like, if I have just a few minutes with a mom who is either introducing foods or going through the battles, I want to say to her, lay it on us.
Yeah, I would just to continue with the toddlers, when they start telling you that something's yucky or they don't like it, even though they ate it yesterday, your first reaction is you want to argue with them because you know that they're wrong or that they're not saying what they said yesterday.
They're not thinking straightly. Yeah.
Right. But the best thing you can do is to validate them. Just like us as women, as mothers, as adults want validation. We want to be heard. We want to know that what we're saying has gotten through to another person. Mm-hmm. Your toddler wants that exact same thing. So if they say, this is yucky, you can say, I understand. How can we make this not yucky? What can we do so it's not yucky? Or what are some not yucky options for you? Don't tell them that they're wrong and that yesterday they ate a whole bowl of it, because it's not going to get you anywhere and you're just going to be in a power struggle. So with everything, with feelings, potty training, I'm going through that right now with my middle one. We've been peeing in the trunk potty, all the things surrounding toddlerhood. First, try to validate, because that's what you want when you're talking to somebody, when you're having coffee. Like, imagine if we were having a conversation and you just argued with everything I said. I would be like, I want it off this podcast. I want off. Yeah. But no, you want someone who can at least validate your feelings, even if they don't agree with you. That's what makes a good friend, a good parent, someone who can understand what the other person is going through and work with them to get towards a solution.
I love that. Well, I have had such a great conversation. I know the moms will love this conversation. Before we hop off, can you tell everyone where they can find you and anything exciting you have going on?
Yeah, so you can find me. My main channel is on Instagram at Eat Play Say. You can also go to eatplaysay.com. We have over 250 free blogs and 13 free downloads for you, as well as other resources for parents. We are dropping some merch this month in May with our phrases, take back the day and happy tired, which is what I always say. Being a mom means that you're just perpetually happy tired forever. Yeah. And proceeds from that are going to Baby to Baby charity.
Oh, thank you so much. That's amazing. And thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been a blast.
I love it.
Okay, Mama, I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Jordyn as much as I did. And I hope it gave you a little peace and a plan and some confidence. Make sure you follow her over at Eat Play Say on Instagram and TikTok, and check out her handbooks at eatplaysay.com so you can have her in your back pocket when you need her. As always, if you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor, leave a review, hit subscribe, and if you're ready to be completely educated and supported through my birth classes, make sure you click the link below or go to labornursemama.com/calm. We adore you, we appreciate you, and we're so grateful you're here. We'll see you again next Friday. Bye for now.